Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to start a new series, kind of a get to know me series. I don't know what this really has to do with agoraphobia, but it kind of circles back in the end. This is a 3-part series about all the jobs that I have worked in my lifetime, even though my lifetime isn't over yet. But all the jobs, and it has been a lot of jobs. That's why it is broken up into 3 parts. And if you are new here, hi, hello, how are you? My name is Jennifer, and on this channel we do talk about subjects regarding agoraphobia and subjects such as this. And we also talk about subjects regarding makeup. If you are interested in any or all of those subjects, then I highly suggest you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and set it to all so that you're notified every time that I post a video. Right? Is that what you're supposed to say? Okay. Now, if you are interested in today's subject, then hold tight because we are getting right into it. Okay, now, when I was in high school, my parents didn't allow me to work. They wanted me to focus on my studies. So the only job I was allowed to have, which was my very first job, was as a babysitter during the summer, probably the summer of 91 or 92, to these kids down the street whose dad worked a 9-to-5 job, and whose mother worked next door for these people who ran a business outside of their home. So she was like their secretary. So she needed me to work like 9 to 5, I guess, on Tuesdays and Thursdays to watch their kids. And I was a horrible babysitter. I would sit on the couch and watch TV and eat their snacks and basically ignore the kids. In fact, one time it was a little girl and her older brother, and the boy was about 8 years old, and he had a friend come over, and we lived out in the country. But the house was close enough to where I could just walk to it. And they had a barn. And the sides were made out of aluminum sheeting. And they took some spray paint and spray painted the side of their barn. And I didn't know this. And I went home, and I got reprimanded over the phone by the mother, telling me that I wasn't watching her kids, and I'm not supposed to have guests over at the house. But she still let me watch her kids after that. I mean, there weren't any other teenagers in the neighborhood out in the country to watch her kids. And I liked the little girl well enough. And she paid me like $10 a day to watch her kids. This is back in the 90s. So I made like $20 a week. And I was saving up to buy some really expensive tennis shoes for school. So I think I made the money. And I bought the tennis shoes. And that was my first job, being a really bad babysitter to these children. My very first real job was after high school. my boyfriend at the time got me a job working at the Wendy's inside of the mall that was in my city. And I got to work as a cashier, and I started to learn about how mean people can be. And I really did not like this job, but I stuck it out for a few months. And sometimes I got to work back on the grill, which I really liked. And sometimes I got to assemble the sandwiches, and sometimes I got to work as a fry cook, and sometimes I got to come in super early in the morning and make the salads. And it was a very gross job, because one time I watched them clean out the fryers, and there were crickets in the fryers, dead crickets in the fryers. And they told me there was nothing they could do about it. That's just something that happened. And I was so grossed out. Said I was never going to eat fast food again. Of course, that didn't happen. But I never saw a place. I worked at a place later on where I never saw this happen. But it was only at this Wendy's that I saw dead bugs come out of a French fryer. And it was so gross. But they usually had me work as a cashier, and people, for the most part, were nice about it. And I would usually work the weekend. But some people just got so petty and so mean, and it was just soul-crushing job working fast food. And finally I broke up with the boyfriend, and he was the assistant manager, and so I decided to find another job, and I got a job at Pizza Inn, when there used to be Pizza Inns instead of just Pizza Huts. They had Pizza Inns, and this was one of the big Pizza Inns where you could dine in inside, and they had pizza buffets and the all-you-can-eat salad bars. And people would actually come in and eat and order off of the menu if there wasn't a buffet going on at the time. And it was great. When you're young, and I was a waitress and I answered the phones. When you're young, multitasking is so easy. I was making mad tips at this place, just being a waitress, and I loved it. I loved working at this job. The people were nice, for the most part, and I liked the people I was working for. I knew a couple of people from high school. I was going to community college by this point, and it was just an easy job for me. Being young and doing all this is the kicker. Running back and forth, answering the phones, folding up pizza boxes, running tickets, handling money, all that stuff. It's just easy when you're young. So I really like this job. I don't know why I quit this job. I think I just wanted to focus on my studies and I think I was getting ready to go to the University of Texas at Dallas, and I was finishing my work up at Richland College, and so I just wanted to move on from there. So I quit that job and I started up at the four-year college. And after my first year there, I wanted to get a summer job. So there was this place that helped college students to get jobs, and they placed me with I wanted to do something with computers because that was my major, computer science. But they placed me with this travel agency, and I'm going to say the names of all these places. It was called Red Carpet Travel because I don't think they're in business anymore. And I was a data entry clerk. They had, I don't remember what I was data entering, but this was for the summer between what I call my freshman and sophomore year, because I was at UTD for 4 years. It took me 5 years to graduate college. I spent 1 year at a community college and 4 years at UTD. So this was after my freshman year at UTD, and it was fun. I got to carpool with my mom to work. She worked close by, and I got to help design their website. I actually programmed in HTML, and I did some light filing for them. The owner of the place was kind of a big bully. He was this really big guy, and it was kind of an open office atmosphere where the travel agents worked up front. Yes, this was in the days of travel agents. So the travel agents worked up front. I had an office, well, I had a desk in back, and he had a desk right next to mine, and he was very loud and very big and just kind of overbearing. And after I started my sophomore year up, they convinced me to keep working there part-time, and I decided that I would. But it just kind of got in the way of my studies, and I wasn't able to come in as much as I wanted to, and I remember him blowing up at me and telling me I wasn't doing enough work for them. And I just kind of went to the back and started crying, and then went up to him and gave him my 2-week notice, and then just left and never came back. But I had fun that summer that I worked there. I got to work on web design and everything. And as far as I know, after I left, they didn't really change their website that much. I don't think they hired someone to keep working on their website. And as technology progressed, they kind of didn't keep up, and I think they kind of fell by the wayside and ended up closing up shop. So that was that job. And so after that, I kind of kept to my studies, but I kind of missed having that little extra cash. So I looked in what was then called the Newspaper Kids to find another job. And they were looking for people to deliver what they used to call in the days phone books. And that was when people would deliver you a big book and you would look up the name of a company, and that's how you would find their telephone number. I'm just being silly. But they were looking for people to hand out telephone books. And they made it very clear that I was an independent contractor. And so I would go and pick up the phone books, and they would give me a route based on where I lived. And so it was close to where I was living, which was near the school. I had an apartment near the school, and I would have to put the phone books in a bag and deliver them to the houses. Now this is not as easy as it sounds, because you would spend a lot of time putting these books into the plastic bags, and then you would have to physically go up to the porch and lay the phone book on their porch. And I had poor Aaron helping me. He would drive the car, and I would take the phone book and put it up on the porch, and he would follow behind me with the books, and I would carry several at a time and go up to the porch. And people were mean to me if they were outside of their house. And there was a guy that threatened to spray me with his hose if I didn't get off his property. And I said, all I have is your phone book. And he said, I don't give a blank. And get off my property now. And I was like, fine, you don't get a phone book then. And I was just doing my job. And I did several rounds of this until I finally got tired of it. And then around my sophomore year, I noticed my grades weren't doing so well. So my junior and senior year, I decided I'm not working anymore. I'm just gonna put my head down and do my studies. And my grades went up significantly well, and then I graduated. So that's where I'm gonna end my story time here. And then the next set of stories will be stories from after I graduated college. Okay? Well, give me a thumbs up if you like this style of storytelling. And please leave me a comment down below. I love hearing from you. And let me know if you've had a lot of jobs, or if you haven't had any jobs, or if you've only had one job. I admire that. I just have trouble sticking to jobs, and you will see that in the next installment of this series. So I hope you are having a wonderful day today, and if you are not, I hope it gets better and that it follows you through the weekend. And if you are just having a rough time, then I am sending you good vibes to help you get through your rough time. And I know it's rough, but I know things will get better for you. Just stay strong, stay healthy, and stay safe. And I will bid you adieu, and I hope to see you tomorrow for my Chatty Saturday series. And I will hopefully see you then. Okay, goodbye.